So welcome to my first thoughts on Super Mario RPG by Nintendo. Yes, I can't wait to talk about this. Nintendo reached out to me and said, do you want to see a preview of the game? And I said, sure. And the reason why they reached out to me is because they saw my Nintendo Direct reaction to this game right here, Super Mario RPG, the original game released on the Super Nintendo. This is my original copy. I bought 27 years ago. I bought it the week it was released, and I played it. And being a big RPG guy and being a big Mario guy, this came together, and I love this game. It was a very cult classic for a lot of us out there. And so Nintendo's like, hey, we know you like this game. Would you like to see a preview? And I said, absolutely. And I'll ask you guys, are you excited about Super Mario RPG? What are some memories that you have of the original game? Or if some of you not played the original and you're just curious about this new game, are you gonna pick it up? Let me know down below. Now, I can't talk about every single thing that I've heard about or seen in this game, but I can talk about a few things and some things that are non-spoilers. That's very, very important. The first thing I want to talk about that I think is really, really fascinating is the one-to-one recreation of the original game. So they went into the original game and they've kept it the same. And how I'm meaning is they haven't altered the character sizes or any of the level layouts. Those are all primarily exactly the same. And I appreciate that because I also appreciate that they haven't altered Mario's look. He's still that same super deformed character from the original game. They haven't modernized him or something like that. They kept him the same size, and that's what I've really enjoyed about this game is the care and detail to the original. They really care about the original. They're not going in and completely altering it and making a brand new game that you haven't seen before. If you played the original game, you'll feel very at home with this, wandering around the towns or going to combat. You've done it before, you'll do it again, and it's awesome. So none of that has been changed, but what has been changed is a beautiful face look to everything. And that comes in the way of textures and hand-drawn graphics here. They modernized it in that sense that this really looks nice. So they've taken that original game, they haven't changed anything, but they've made it upgraded. It really looks nice. And here's the bit that I was the most excited about. Being a fan of the original, I love the original music in this game. It's classic, it's haunting, it's strange, it's fantastic. All of it. The battle music is great. I love it. Classic stuff. What have they done with this game now? They've given you the option that you can use classic music or the modern music, which is a beautiful retelling of those original songs, and they've honored the original songs. But you know what? For me, I'll always go back to the classic songs because that's the way I originally played them, and I was really fascinated to hear that you have the option at least. Now here's something that's a bit fascinating, especially for Nintendo to do this. There's a difficulty setting. Yes, you can change the difficulty setting. There's breezy and normal. So if you just want to go in and have an easier time with combat, you pick breezy, or if you just want to play the classic game, you just pick normal. And you can also pick classic controls, and that's the one that I love the most. Now here's another thing that I want to talk about. The world map has been changed. What? In a bad way? No, in a better way. The original game, the world map was fragmented. So you go to one world map and that was it, and you go to another. Where in this new version of the game, they show the entire world map. And so that's the thing that's different. In the original, you just go to one set of levels, and you're like, oh, I see that level. And then you go to the next, and it go black again, and then back to another level. Where this has the entire map there so you can see exactly where you are. And that kind of modernizes it, and that's something that needed to be upgraded. And something else that is really great, when you go into a store and you want to buy equipment and upgrade your character, you can see when you equip a new item, the stat differences on that character. And so you can choose back and forth and say, no, that item's not good, this one is perfect for me, and I really like that. Now, the thing about Super Mario RPG, there's no random encounters. It's not that kind of RPG. You're walking around, you see the enemies on the screen, which is always a great thing, and then you can initiate combat and start it off. And one thing that is brand new in this game, if you do a perfect attack, it will do damage on the other enemies surrounding it. And that's something that wasn't in the original game. That's a brand new addition and really nice. And it's an incentive to do better attacks and get your timing better with your buttons. And yes, Mario can still interact with the environment like past games. Another new quick addition is to bring up the quick menu select so you can heal yourself on your main menu. And you can bring up your monster list and check out all the enemies that you finished and check out all their strengths and weaknesses so you have a record of those monsters. And there's also the inclusion of a scrapbook. And this is kind of important because if you've left the game for a while, you come back, you're like, where am I? What am I doing? The scrapbook will get you up to date on exactly where you are and what you were doing before that. So it's easy to come back to the game if you forget where you were. And there's also the triple move attack with all three of your characters doing a combo attack. And it's very cinematic and it's very cool. So yeah, this is no spoilers, so I can't really talk beyond that about many things. I've asked a lot of questions, I got a lot of answers, and I was told to say, hey, you can't talk about that. And I'm like, I understand that. And there's a lot of things in this game that they don't want ruined. And I totally understand that. And that's why I've given a very bare bones basic thing on here. The storyline is pretty much the same as the original. The one thing that I find interesting is this new one is called Super Mario RPG, where the original was called Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. So they seem to have lost that title there, unless they bring that back at the, for launch that I don't know about and all of that. But at present, it's just Super Mario RPG. Now, this is not a review or anything like that, it's just some first thoughts, but for me, as a Super Mario RPG fan, I'm very happy with what they've done with the original game into this modern take on it. And they've changed enough where they needed to change it, but they haven't messed with the original formula. And the original formula is the stuff of legend. No pun intended, it's the stuff of legend. And so many of us out there were there 27 years ago. And I never thought I'd be sitting here 27 years later talking about Super Mario RPG once again. But you know what? A lot of us were asking for it, and Nintendo secretly listened, and they brought it out, and I'm like, this is actually a thing that's happening. And it makes me happy being an old school player and a new school player, and being able to get the old school with the new school now. And I'm very happy that a lot of new players can experience this game for the very first time. And as I say, this is no review, but from what I've seen, this game really lives up to the hype of the original, and they've really honored it in all the right places, and that makes me thrilled as just a fan. So are you guys interested in this game, Super Mario RPG? Did you play the original? Are you just looking forward to the new one? You've never played it before? Let me know down below. So anyways, guys, until next time.